Okay, I don't know if I'm live or not, but I'm gonna go for it. I don't believe this thing, so the hell with it. So we are going to go ahead and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't care. This thing will beep at me when I'm not on anyways. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it. So I am streaming as far as I know. Everything is coming up here. The bit rate is up. Usually it'll show me something in the window here. It's saying the video is unavailable, which is kind of strange, and it's giving me bitrate warnings and all that other crap. So let me just, yeah, I'll keep the, do I want to close the control room? Yeah, I'll keep it going. Let's just go with it. Warnings. Dang it. Okay, let's just go with it. So let's start Run8. Yes, hell has frozen over. And hopefully this works. I might have to start creating videos the old-fashioned way and just record them and then upload them. So we're going to take a look at the new add-on, the $20 one for the short lines. So we'll start off with UPS BNSF Southwest. I'm just going to go into extra board for now and just take a look around. Hopefully this is recording. If it's not recording, I'll probably do it later, just to show you guys. But my apologies for the stream being all screwy, but I don't know if it's my connection or YouTube or whatever. So we'll start in Mojave here. We'll take a run down Oak Creek here. Apparently, external dispatcher does not work with this. I don't know why that is. I'm trying to figure out why that is. It doesn't work when you install it, so I'm not too sure why. If it's just Mojave or if it's up by Arvin branch or what, because everything else looks the same here to me. So I'll have to take a look at the up by Magadan and see what happens. But let's go ahead and this is I saw this last week when we were seeing the wind turbines, which I had no idea was new. Let's just take a look at what I got myself into. I haven't really seen too many screenshots other than what was on Run8. So we got ourselves a grade crossing coming out. Some more wind turbines. A little bit of a crappy graphic there. No, that's okay. I can live with it. It is what it is. I'm not too worried. I like the wind turbines. That's kind of cool. Adds a little bit of more element to it. A lot of wind turbines. Not to mention they light up at night, so that's kind of cool. So what we got here? What do we got? Got a bit of a curve. I think it's 20 miles an hour if I was reading everything correctly. So we just got a little grade crossing here. Some hydro. I call hydro. It's not really hydro. And then I think this is it. And I've actually did a lot of imagery looking into it. This is actually, I just spent $20 because I'm actually going to be focusing on this, I think. Now, I may choose to go the other way. I'm not much into a lot of switching. And I did see a post on TrainSim about the positioning of the spawn point. I actually put a recommendation. And that is, it's great that there are new spawn points. I think it's terrific. I think it's more than enough. I could even go so far as really to take a good look at the Bakersfield sub, because apparently there's a lot of industries out there, and there's enough mainline to make it interesting. But for now, I'm gonna tread very lightly. I've got at least two potential scenarios here. One, I go back to Mojave and start running Mojave, as I used to. And what that would mean now, I believe there's quite a few options. Because there's spawn points coming out of Bakersfield, I can run trains out of here. I can basically control this and even control this a little bit. Have the trains come out of Seiko there, siding. I believe there's even some in UP, which would be really cool. I don't know about that for sure. There's not really a controlled switch to get on to there, unfortunately. But that's okay. It's not the end of the world. That's something where you can put in a. You can just go. I'll show you when I get down here for a second. There's a lot of different ways. I haven't taken a look at all the new spawn points. We'll take a look at those in this as well. And if I'm wasting my time talking to nobody, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Maybe I should have recorded this. I probably still can. Let me just try something here. Well, it says 2 concurrent viewers, so that's a good sign. So I'll just chat. So if anybody's there or I'm on, just go ahead and give me a little bit of a reply. It says the video is unavailable. I don't understand that. Usually it'll show me this and I can move that around or whatever. But I put that in the chat. Normally I don't keep that open, but whatever. This I can close. I don't need that on. 3 playbacks, whatever. Okay. So I can't keep both screens open in a while, but I will check the chat from now every now and then. See how it goes. Glad to see I'm on. I don't know why YouTube's not showing this tonight. Now, I don't know. Okay, we know this part is this isn't changed. This is not actually. I don't think this is totally prototypical. If I'm not mistaken, oh no, maybe it is. I could be wrong on that one. I thought something had changed up this way and they didn't run it as far. But anyways, that has nothing to do with the new add-on that we're looking at tonight. The other add-on, well, there's a couple add-ons actually. There's one I believe that came with version 8. Maybe it came with this. I'm not sure, to be honest, because I wasn't really interested in the SJVR stuff. This is Magadan. Now, I'm not too sure why external dispatcher does not work with I still don't understand that. That doesn't make sense to me. External dispatcher works until you get into this new update, apparently. Why that is, I have no idea, because to me nothing has changed in Magadan that I can tell other than this. And there's no signals here anyways, so yeah, so we start off here. We've got our first industry. Now, a lot of these industries may or may not exist. I know this one does. This looks pretty cool, actually. Actually, I see a lot of traffic, which is a really good sign. It's nice to see. And yeah, things are looking good there. Don't have too much information on the details of the industries. To be honest, there's more information to go on. Oh wow, we got the highway. That is very cool. This looks like really busy and neat. I like it. Really gives a nice little flavor. So we've got another industry there. So this is the Arvin branch. Very nice. Power lines. I keep calling them hydro lines because that's all we have in our area around Niagara. It's hydroelectricity. So cool. Just regular No gauge, just the lights. That's nice. So I also did a lot of research on the Arvin branch when I was looking at the RTS stuff. And I did see a lot of this. You would see these farms and you'd have all these various things out here. A lot of it doesn't exist anymore. You know, that doesn't matter. So SJVR wise, there's a lot now. You can literally run SJVR. The train sim comment. Well, first of all, let me mention the suggestion. So you're basically looking at the same type of thing, a nice extended short line that you can run as a short line, and you can still run in your interchange traffic from UP and BNSF. Yeah, it curves up over here, follows the highway, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's correct. Yep. Does it go that way? I can't remember. Now, a lot of this is, no longer running or whatever. I guess it is. So, motel. Is that the Cockroach Motel? Yeah. So this is cool. So yeah, there's a lot of industries that no longer exist. That's for sure. But I do like the idea that you can simulate a what if scenario. What if it was like this? And this actually really goes back far. So that's cool. A lot of this stuff I could not get good imagery. Okay, so there's a Y here too. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, that's cool. And I'm sure Sean over at Run8 Depot will have some maps eventually, and they'll make up their industries, and I'll go with what they go with, quite frankly. But like I said, I may start off with Mojave first and run Mojave if I'm going to do it. I'm still interested in Stormworks. I'm not done with Stormworks. I can tell you that right now. The only reason why my son, by the way, he is home. He is home from hospital. It was been a fun few days. I think he has crashed tonight, but hopefully he'll get around the bend here. He's got 3 days off, and he's got a professional development day, so has to go to school tomorrow, anyways. And then the weekend, so it's another 3 days to recover. And we learned some things from it. We learned that some doctors are just quacks and kooks and all the other stuff, or whatever you want to call them. But that's cool. Even that, it's nice to have those sightings in there, the ones that are being torn up, to kind of represent, like, hey, that's I like that. I think that's cool. I think it's cool to have one of those. Not have it everywhere, but have it in a few places, and obviously show the before the change in times. This is really extensive, and I remember seeing this area too. This area here had a lot, I think, still that was going on. I could see cars. I remember this looks very familiar to me because of some of the research and what I was doing in the research that I was taking place. Was I was following these branches so that I could figure out what kind of traffic to generate. I'd have to do it again if I was to do it, but this looks very, very familiar. Yeah, it comes up to the road, and that's it. That is the end right there. So, yeah, this really has SJVR is a complete unit as far as I can tell. I'm just trying to think now if there's anything else that's missing. I suppose you could. I don't know if I think they have rights going on UP, but other than that, they got so much now for Bakersfield. I mean, really, it's good. So we've done that. Let me again. I do not have the Bakersfield sub, and I'm going to jump very carefully into this water again if I'm going to get back into Run8. I don't know if I've won the bet, if I lost the bet, won the bet. I guess it was basically somebody told me, oh yeah, give it 3 months or something like that, you'll be back into it. Quincy was saying that, and okay, he might have won that. I don't know, but I said before, I put a qualifier into that, and I said, first of all, number one, the rail driver was always here. I was waiting for the updates. That's all I wanted was the updates. Show me the updates that you said you were going to start bringing out. Show me version 3. Show me whatever you can to get me interested in it. Because I wasn't interested. And Jesus, I always have somebody calling. Hold on a second. Sorry about that, guys. Little one comes first. So he, I thought he was asleep by now, but lately he's been wanting to talk to me. So you never know when to do a live stream. I was thinking, yeah, you might call me, but I wasn't too sure. He was very quiet. I thought he was out for the night. At first he wanted to come see me, or he wanted me to come see him, and I'm like, well, yeah, I could. But anyways, he's okay. I asked him, I said, are you sure I can go up and see you? I can end the live stream now. So I don't know what's going on as far as anything else. Let me just take a look. So it's 9:56. What I'm going to do is, we got some time here. I'm going to go ahead and try some of the spawn points. I'm just looking over here. Like I said, this is the rest of SJVR, and of course you got the UP side. I just wanted to take a look at the Bakersfield sub for a second. I think I looked at this the other night. Not much had changed. Again, I don't know why external dispatcher would or wouldn't work, but honestly, I don't need external dispatcher. I can use the F3. As long as everything is okay. Now, before I got paged from upstairs. For those of you who don't know, I live in the basement now, with basically where I used to live. So I basically my ex is my landlord. I live by myself, but Emmett is a huge part of my life now. He has been going through a great ordeal. He is dealing with chronic pain. He hasn't walked since March. And he is back home from another bid with the hospital. We had some stomach complications. We're believing, or at least I'm believing, that in the next 3 weeks, his school is going to be over. I think there's a lot of pressure on him to get to school. And it's not so much school that's bothering him. I think it's the having to sit for an extended time is very difficult for him right now because of the pain. So I think once you take that stress away, he's going to recover just fine this summer. At least that's my hope. Okay, that being said, I'm grabbing a drink and I'm going to take a look at the spawn points, and then we'll go a little further here. Yeah, I asked him if he wanted me to go upstairs because I had no problem ending the live stream right there. I had just reviewed what I said I was going to review, but let's get into the spawn points. We were looking at these the other night, the last video I did, where I started saying, oh, I was going to mention about this whole thing with Quincy. So, first of all, I would not have been getting back into Run8 right now if there wasn't something that I could purchase that I can actually use and possibly have some interest. The spawn points alone made it possible. Was I going to purchase something from Run8? Not unless it benefits me. Mojave benefits me. So let's deal with Mojave for now, and let's see what the possibilities are. I mentioned Sanborn. We know we have that. So when we look at the spawn points, I believe Sanborn, I had something set up. I don't know if I created it or not. No, it's on BNSF. BNSF Sanborn, I think. Oh, I thought I had spawned something. Okay, maybe I didn't. Okay, so Sanborn eastbound doesn't do anything for me if I'm just going to deal with Mojave. So what this does is when you get into a... That's weird that it doesn't have a spawn now. Oh, that's because the... I don't know why that's doing that. I thought spawn would come in if I had a freight. Okay. So, whoops, I had it. Yeah, I know you're stopped for red signal. So what that does is the other spawn point difference is the UP Mojave sub, which you would be under control. So as a dispatcher, you would be responsible for everything in the UP. One dispatcher can do it. A single player can do it. It's not a huge ordeal. Of course, you're dealing with the spawn system as opposed to RTS style spawning, because right now, in order to get all these trains mobile, you would have to go in, literally load a train, and spawn it. So this would be anything coming off of the BNSF would come here. Now let's take a look at the others. I've seen the others. I'm not going to bother spawning Hinckley. Hinckley's always been there. That's never... sorry, not Hinckley. Pardon me, there is no Hinckley. Highland. Highland has always been there. Vincent's always been there. The problem with Vincent is Vincent doesn't work very well because of the length of the siding. So this is where we get into issues, especially when we're dealing with the current AI system. The current AI system that's in place works great as far as the AI trains how they handle. I've always loved how the AI handles. What I haven't liked is how the AI generates. So there's a big difference there, and I want to be clear about that. When the AI generates, it generates in a cookie cutter fashion. Number one, I don't like that. Number two, you have a lot more control than you used to have because you can pick particular card types and all this other stuff, and you can filter industry tag specific kind of thing. There's a lot of filters that you can put in play. However, it seems to have a generic, how would you say? It doesn't matter if you have 0 industries, 1 industry, 10 industries, how much demand you have. It seems to always want to spawn a train that's about 4,000. Like this one's 7,680. It's not the feet so much, and I think this one. Let me just take a look. Is this a bear train? Oops. Sorry. Okay, so this is a manifest train. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong. Okay, there we go. Like I said, I don't know the lengths per se, but you generally get a 4,000 to 6,000 rate train. This train's different than the one that spawned the other day. The other day, the one that spawned was 4 units. 4 units, if this was a player train, is not going to work on this hill. They need to fix that. 4 units, it may, if you have enough units in the back, it may work. But 4 units generally does not work going up Mojave. It's actually against. It's not realistic because there's too much horsepower. Pardon me, I'm feeding my face. But let me just take a look at the tags here. See, notice I don't have any tags. I don't have nothing. This, and if I did, it would still. I mean, yeah, it would pick the right types of cars and the right industries, but the train length. Notice there's no tags. There's no nothing. It's just going to spawn a train that long. It's not going to be all that. It's going to randomize the lengths. The lengths are going to be different, but it's going to generally, no matter how many industries you have, how many spawns you have, it always has this cookie cutter, loads at the front, empties at the back. I don't like it. I've never been a fan of it. RTS, you had a lot more control over the way bills at least. And the reason why RTS 2 is not coming out anytime soon, although I've teased it a few times, is because of the way. Well, there's a lot of reasons why. Number one, if I brought it out, and I know a lot of people want it and blah blah blah, I'm definitely way too busy right now to do that. But if I was to do it, the problem with it, especially in this situation, let's say I'm dispatching and I manually bring, and this is single player, and I manually want to AI these trains. I have to, if I was, say for example, I'm running that local, I got to make sure that I have stopped, relinquished the train, gone over to Sanborn, and AI'd that train. You have to do that. That's the only way you can AI those trains. That's another thing I don't like about the AI system. Otherwise, and the gumball bingo, whatever the hell it is, let's just pick a number out of a hat and let's keep picking it and throw it back in. And the random number generator sucks for Run8. It's not random enough. Sorry. Too many patterns. I've seen them as a programmer. I know what the patterns look like. It is not randomizing the numbers for the random number generator properly. It's based on sequential timing of the computer chip. So if you're going to generate things sequentially at the beginning of a line of code,
and they run the same sequence pretty much all the time, depending upon when the start of the sequence is, or depending upon what the time of the chip, a pattern forms. I don't know how many times I have to say it. I have said it before. I'm sure people have seen it. They're probably sick of me saying it, but the random number generator sucks. Sorry to say. But I'm the only one that seems to bitch about it or notice it. But hey, I guess that's why I'm a programmer. And no, I haven't wrote any program code for a long time, so. But I still know how to program enough logic and basics that I can tell you it's screwed. You don't have to take my word for it. I don't care. And seriously, I'm not going to bitch on Run8 because I'm pleased they've done this. So I'm pleased with update number 8, and I am pleased with this add-on. The add-on looks good, actually. This looks much more compelling to run locals, but at the same time, for my purposes, I would probably go with Mojave. So let's keep on going with that. Like I said before, we know Highland. Vince and I wouldn't spawn anything from because of the limitations. Highland is much better siding that can handle, because it's a lot longer. This one might give problems. Might. There's I don't think I've seen too many. Now you see 7,200. Let me try something else here for a minute. I want to test that theory. I'm trying to think of some of the biggest trains I can run. And we're going to test this theory here. So, yeah. Oh, this ain't going to be good. Oh, don't kill my hopes already, guys. Okay. Let's give this another test, shall we? Let's see if we can break it. I would say unit refrigerator, although I'm not saying that I would have a unit refrigerator train. Utter peon, I don't care. Yeah, let's make it Tehachapi westbound. I don't care what engines it has on it. I don't care of anything else. This is just a test. Okay, it spawned that one. Good sign. Made it. Reefers aren't that big. Let's go with intermodal. Like I said, I'm trying to break this. We'll see how well this has been beta tested, or if anybody noticed. Let's go with bare tables. Spawn this now. What happens is it doesn't spawn it right at the end of the track. He actually starts moving forward. Okay, so it's done the bare table train. Again, it fits. I'm going to give you an well, let me try this a few more times. We might as well. We're doing this so far. Let's keep bringing them in. We'll go with domestic containers, train symbols. So far, it's passing. It is going. I've seen it. I forget what the maximum length gets to. So far, so good. If it screws up on the one train, I'm not going to worry about it too much. That one's a little shorty. So there's okay. Let's light power, no. Mixed containers, no. Passenger, don't care. I could try a unit auto rack train. That might be a good one to try. Test, spawn. It's doing pretty good. What are the lengths of these, anyways? Now I don't know if it has anything to do with. So 5182. Let me try this. 5182. Let me try that one more time. So far, it's doing well. 5182. That went down to 4835. So they might have reduced the limits on this too because of the issues with Vincent. I'm not. Is there anybody else I can try? Blah 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 blah. Unit grain. Train symbol. Test. Allow mid-train DPUs. Tehachapi westbound. Okay. It's an under peon, which means it's going to take a lot of power. Let's spawn that. Yeah, CN engine. Very nice. That's only 4,678. Wow, that's I have had issues at Vincent. I kid you not. Whoops. Okay. Well, that's good. If it's going to spawn most of them, then bravo. They might have reduced the levels because of this. That could be a fix. I didn't see it, but okay. Vincent siding. Intermodal, maybe. Yeah. I want to see if I can break this thing. Tehachapi westbound under peon. Spawn. Do I want to allow mid-train DPUs? Sure, why not? Spawn now. That's 4,928. I wonder if it's calculating the length of the siding or something, and it's. There used to be an issue that if the siding was too small, it would cause a problem. But if it can handle it now, I don't know. It might be because I'm thinking of ones that had industries in them or something, but we'll see. Unit Bethlon coal. Unit coal. Tags. No. Test. Allow westbound. Whoops. Spawn now. That's interesting. Oh, I've seen it crap out a lot more. So that's a good sign. I don't recall that it being in any of the notes, but whatever. I didn't check the length on that. So that's good. So those are your... Highland is not a problem. And what you do there is you basically run your... trains the other way around. Holy crap. Cool. I'm just reading the chat because I don't get to do that very often. So yeah, well worth $20 in my opinion. I think it's a good bargain buy, especially if you like switching. And if you're single player, you've got a lot of ways to do it. So let's work with the Mojave for a minute. So that's the ones going northbound. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the other spawn points for a minute. And this is probably going to pertain to Bakersfield as well. So let me just go into the various ones. Gomez, where the hell is that? Is that the
Oh, it's right there. Okay, wait a minute. What's that? So I see Gomez is up there. I knew that. Okay. Oh, that's wet. Oh, okay. This one right here is for the Bakersfield sub. So if you own Bakersfield sub, you now have a westbound spawn point, which is perfect. That's a perfect location for it because what that does is if you don't want to bother with Bakersfield, but you want the Bakersfield sub, you have a spawn point at Gomez. That allows you to basically play that section without having to deal with Bakersfield. So that's a good one. What else do we got? BNSF Yard westbound. That's another one you can do. So what you can do there, so you can have Gomez, which I believe is main one. Yep. So you have Bakersfield. So now you're representing. You can control both of them, but you get your Bakersfield Yard trains plus you get your mainline stuff. So you're spawning both of them. That's cool. So far, so good. If you want to include Bakersfield Yard, you go a little bit further. Now, all of these are really good because you got both eastbound and westbound. So if you want to run needles, you can. You can now just run needles. Personally, I'm not a big fan of needles. It is what it is, and it is. This is the same problem that I come across when I look at Mohawk and Selkirk. I think that actually Mohawk and Selkirk I think is some of the most beautiful scenery in all of Run8. But from an operation standpoint, it's just like boring as hell. And they, like I said before, they need to fix some of the HPT values of some of those trains. They're just too powerful, and the passengers can't overtake when they need to. And they need to in some cases, especially some of the manifest trains. The intermodal should be able to take over the passenger trains for the most part, especially because they're priority usually. But yeah, so now you get Bakersfield. You get Barstow. Barstow allows you, if you want to, you can now run. You don't have to worry about Hinckley. This allows you to go even further and simulate more BNSF by running westbounds out of Barstow. That even gives you more options because now you can go this way. So, we always had Hodge West. We always had Hodge. I think it was Hodge. Sorry, no, we didn't. Wait a minute. Let me think about that one for a second. No, we didn't. So the way Run8 used to work was this. It was set up as a network. You get the needle sub and you get the needles and Mojave sub. So they didn't bother trying to sell you needles in version 2. They included it with Mojave. So what happened is if you purchased Cajon, you were not forced, but you were basically running a combination of both. I haven't really taken a look at LA, but suddenly I'm curious about LA again. So there's a lot of weird. First of all, I'm not going to go that far. I mean, yeah, LA is cool and all, but it's a freaking jungle. I like it. It's a lot. There's a lot there, and it's just like nah. For one player, single player, I mean, it can be done, but nah, it's too much. I don't want to do it. I like it. It's cool for a small group, and it's cool for if I could run a server now and then, which I can't. It would be great. But that doesn't work. Inspection yards, great. You're simulating inspection trains. You're simulating both north and south departures, which is great. You got them double legs, so if you want to have a couple at least spawn up and get ready, that's fine. You don't have to bring them out at the same time. Bakersfield Main 2 is already
in it. That is the one that heads off of the main line, which is fine. And we've always used that one, but it's not necessarily the be-all, end-all. Colton Crossing, Main 1, Main 2, I think that was already in there. Lenwood, Main 2, eastbound was already in there, I believe. Let me take a look. Gotta think about that one. I'm pretty sure it was. That's Hodge. Oh, okay, yeah, Lenwood's there. Main 2 eastbound would be here. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. So the Lenwood was already there. It was not part of the Cajon sub, it was part of the default routes. So you could easily simulate Cajon sub traffic coming in. Perfect. Let's just keep going down since we're here. Needles, we know. That's, as you can see, I have spawn points. Everything's fine with that. This one's interesting. The Sanborn eastbound. Now, westbound, we were already playing around with that. Sanborn eastbound. Did I get rid of the other one? No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Sorry. Contradicting myself here. Where is this? Oh, I was already there. Okay, cool. Eastbound. Let me just see what that does. I'll go with the mixed freight. Another test. Yeah, I don't care. Tehachapi eastbound. Peon, don't care. To spawn. Okay. So you either do one or the other. You can't do both. No, let me forget I said that. Nor would you want to do both, quite frankly. You either do one or the other. You can do both if you want, have fun. Go nuts, I don't care, but it's not, that defeats the purpose. You to have a train spawn in the middle. The Mohawks, Selkirk did a really good job of putting a lot of spawn points in. Mikey really set that up well to run. You could run just Mohawk itself. You could run Selkirk by itself. It was really set up nicely. He always had it set up. There's a few that I may change, after trial and error, but otherwise, it's fine. He had it really set up good. I made the suggestion in the train sim forums, if you guys hadn't seen the posts that I put, and I think I put some pretty. At first I was a little harsh, and then I don't know what I was harsh about, to be quite honest, more recently, but I was. But once 8 came out, update 8 came out, and that was when I was like, oh, okay, this is good. And I wasn't harsh about I was kind of harsh about, they keep on offering new stuff, but we don't keep hearing about version 3. That was my criticism, but anyways, I digress. I decided to give them $20. I figured they deserve something. Give them a break. Throw them a bone. Not that it means much. I've spent, I got my money's worth a long time ago with this. So anyways, the reason why I say that's interesting is what you're doing by setting up an eastbound Sanborn spot. You're, in theory, you could set up the channel 6513 dispatch zone. So you're not going to deal with the UP stuff. All you care about is you want to run the desert, the BNSF Mojave sub. Maybe run. That's interesting. You know something that's really, really interesting to me. You see how many possibilities just a bunch of extra spawn points does? I'll tell you something. That's got me. I'm trying to remember if the hump at Barstow is that interesting. It is. I mean, honestly, if I was to do any update, I would update the damn hump and give it the 60 track treatment or whatever the hell it is they have out in Florida, because and have it work right. I mean, the problem with Florida is, I mean, it's prototypical. Don't get me wrong. It's just when things get screwed up, it's hard to do anything. It's hard to go in, and cars stop themselves all the time, or I think you get into memory issues for some lower end computers like mine. But that's interesting, because before, the only way you could simulate running that would be to have a spawn way the hell up here, and you'd have to fleet them. So you fleet them all in, and then they slowly come. The problem with fleeting them, you fleet from long distances, and this is the problem I always had when trying to simulate traffic coming way on the other side of Barstow when I was doing Mojave. Having it come from Sanborn is a lot different because the traffic spaces out a lot better, or has the potential to. It doesn't necessarily have to, but it does have the potential to. So that's good. I like that, and I'll have to consider that, because this is actually not a huge switching area. No, I'm not. That means I'm not going to be using any of the cool local stuff that I just purchased, but it does make Barstow interesting. So for those of you who like to run Barstow, you can now spawn a train here. What about this side? I'm going to be curious if they have that. If they don't, if they have just Needles sub, then yeah. I mean, okay, Needles isn't the end of the world, but I'd rather be focusing on my Barstow and maybe just the intermediate area. But let's just keep going. We're good. So that was Sanborn. West Riverside, I think that was already in. I already have a spawn point. Quantico northbound. I haven't tried this one. Let me see. Now, I've heard some complaints about this one. I don't know why. Exactly. I think it's... I'll tell you why in a second, from what I understand. So we got the test train here. Everything else is good. Let's do it to Tehachapi westbound. Utter Peon. Spawn it. Okay, so we got Quantico. Alright. Where does it spawn it? Ooh, wait a minute. This is interesting. Where does it spawn it? I'm really curious now. This is interesting. Am I going the wrong way? I probably am. Okay, there's Edison. The complaint was Edison was not included. Now, I'm not too worried about Edison. Although it has all kinds of wonderful stuff, I'm not worried about Edison. Okay. All right. So here's the thing, okay? What some people are saying about this spawn point is Edison, you have the issue. I'd go to extend that as saying, yeah, you're right, because if people want to run just Edison and run out of Bakersfield, why not have a spawn point down here?
I tend to agree. I agree with that statement. At the very least, I would prefer to see a spawn point somewhere along here so that it gives you a little bit of a warning. Even if the worst case scenario is here. Because what happens is, say for example, you have a train and it's coming back to you're in a manual train, okay? And you have all the stuff going on, and then all of a sudden this train just pops up and spawns. Well, you can't run this area with that spawn point. The only way you can run it is by making sure you treat this track. You literally have to treat this a single track. And this is the difficulty with the spawn point. I know its purpose. First of all, its purpose is not to define. I'm not too sure what its purpose is, to be quite honest. I'm thinking it's if you want to run UP Bakersfield and simulate Mojave. Unfortunately it does a disservice to your operations out of Bakersfield and SJVR, to be quite honest, because you're running trains that are coming in. So I actually agree, and I'm going to revise my reply over on TrainSim. This is fine. I mean, yeah, okay, this allows you to bring a train into UP, or it allows you to do a westbound main line onto the Bakersfield sub, which you kind of already have spawn points to do that. So it's kind of an odd one. I would definitely get rid of Quantico, or you can keep Quantico as an option if some people want to do it and they don't want to bother. They never downloaded this pack and they just want to run Bakersfield as is. But get it east of Edison. I agree, because once you get it east of Edison, now you can still run SJVR and you can pretty much do everything. I agree. I definitely agree with that. I don't know where my train went to. Did I delete? Oh, I deleted it. That's why. Okay, let's forget about Quantico. I agree with that one. Olive sub out of Atwood. That is, I think that is. Yeah, that's that one down there. Okay, fine. Did they actually? I think they had Riverside already. I got a funny feeling they had. Yeah, see, they did it right with Riverside. They actually California, or the extension was always fine for running trains on LA only. But what they did was they always assumed if you had the basic needles, and if you had the basic needles Mojave, why would you need to spawn a train out of Cajon? Because all you have to do is run it down the line. They never really got into the mentality of a single player to say, well, wait a minute, I'm not going to buy Cajon, but I will buy LA because I think LA is cool. So they did it right with that, because they knew that not everybody was going to buy Cajon because it was older, but they liked LA. So they did it right with it. They actually did it right with LA. I thought LA was pretty much set up. So Olive sub, San Bernardino, I think everything else is there. Yeah, we've already done all that. Streeter side, I don't know why I don't have a spawn point for that. I don't even know what the hell it is. What is that? I'm not sure what that is. It might be fine. I don't know. I just don't know what the hell that is. Oh, up that way. Okay. It probably was there already, and I just never noticed it. I probably never needed it, to be quite honest. Either that, or it's a new one, and it's representing traffic coming out of for Cajon. It's representing that. I'm not sure. I think it was already there, to be honest. So that's fine. What else do we got? Westbound south. Yeah, that's already there. UP Daggett westbound. Ah. Okay. They're making Barstow very, very appealing. Isn't that interesting? I think that's a new one too. Let me see. So we're gonna go westbound to Daggett. I don't remember that being there, but that's okay. Okay, so that's assuming. Okay, that's definitely UP, obviously. Fine. I don't think that was there before. Okay, fair enough. Where the hell? Yeah, okay, we got Ansel and Cedar. Sorry, I'm not too familiar with some of these sightings. It sounds familiar, but I can't picture it. Cedar is isn't it up on Cajon? Or am I thinking of the other? Okay, well, I don't know. No. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. What's Ansel and what's Cedar? That's main one. Let me see that again. Okay, Ansel is a northbound, southbound siding. Ah, damn. I always forget where everything is. Because I'm not used to all the names. It isn't going to be that. Southbound Tana, Quadsies. Yeah, Cedar's right there. Okay. So I think Cedar was already there. I cannot find Ansel for the life of me. I know the name. I just can't picture where the hell it is. Well, let's just try Ansel and see. Northbound. It can't be up there. Okay, mixed freight. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I think I know where it is. I think. Oh, aren't you sweet? Ooh. I like that one. Hmm. Okay, I'll tell you why I like that one. I like that. I like that in many ways, actually. In fact, I would go so far as saying, yeah, I like that one. That's a good one. I knew Ansel sounded familiar. I'm like, it's like okay. So what that does, I wouldn't do it only because, well, no.
Actually, I'm just saying. I'm trying to think of the operations out of Mojave. Let me take a look for a minute and see. You got the Mojave Flyer, but the Mojave Flyer doesn't have to. Okay, let me blah 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 blah. Let me blah, 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 blah. Yeah, this is where I wanted to go right here. So I can't remember what the cutoff is between the Mojave Flyer and that. So here's the beauty about Ansel. You've got an area where I believe the siding, you got these industries here which are not served by the Mojave Flyer, I don't think. I think the Mojave Flyer just comes right into Mojave, if I recall, and then the yard crew would take over. And that should be the Ansel siding right there. Yeah, there he is. Okay. That's a cool one. I like that one. The only thing you're eliminating is Mojave Flyer, which is technically a train that you want to come in. You're eliminating the need to have to run a local that serves this area. You are also now eliminating the need to have to run a train all the way from Highland. I'm curious if they would actually have a southbound that's a little bit closer that doesn't have to run up here. I don't think we do have one, but I'll take a look. So you got Ansel northbound and the south. The other ways you can look at the southbound and you can run a smaller section of mainline. So if you're more interested in running, I don't know why you would want to run that, but you could, in theory, just run the Flyer once in a while. But yeah, that system would get boring. There's a few locals in there, but I mean, if you want, you can run out of Highland, run out of Ansel, run out of Vincent, and just dispatch this little area here. Run some trains, run some locals. I don't know. That'd be kind of boring for me, but whatever. Again, there might be something I'm missing. Cedar Main 1, 2, I've already dealt with that. UP from Yuma Sub Main 1, Main 2. And go ahead, guys. Let me know in the comments. I'll come back to the comments and read some of those if you want. I'll be in there shortly, because I'm going to be wrapping things up shortly. Now, Highland northbound and southbound. This is where it gets interesting, because I think that changed. Don't quote me on it, but now it gets interesting because when you always had the end limits to Cajon Sub. Cajon Sub is one of probably the prettiest ones in the California section. I'm trying to remember if Highland had a spawn point coming in this way. Something tells me it did, but I'm not so no, I'm actually no, it didn't. It had the spawn point going the other way. So here's a good one, actually. Yes, it's double track mainline, but it's some of the most scenic. And you still have the hump at West Colton. So you're gonna have everything that comes in and out of West Colton. You've got Highland now that comes in this way. So now you're spawning traffic coming in that way. You can simulate the BNSF. I don't know if Lenwood goes the other way. If it doesn't matter, because if Lenwood doesn't go the other way, which I don't think it does, no. These Lenwoods are eastbounds. So then you just run it out of BNSF. and you don't worry about it because all you're doing is you're simulating the traffic of the BNSF and the UP through Cajon sub, and you're simulating the yard. You can run off the Cajon map now. Again, the way Run8's philosophy used to be, if you're connected to a route that already exists that we're giving you for free, why would you want to spawn a train? Well, if you're single player, maybe you like just Cajon. You want the hump yard, but you don't want Barstow, or you want something a little different. You want something a little more scenic. This could be for you. Now, this is, I don't know. It's a pretty cool yard. You got the Colton Diamond. You got stuff to play with here. So there's a lot of options. You don't even have to get the add-on pack that I was showing at the beginning if you don't want to. If that's not for you. Honestly, if Run8 was smart, if they want to make extra money, and I think they got add-on packs coming too, which is good. That's always a good sign. I got to get more into Run8 before I go buying add-on packs. I've done one. I figure, hey, I'll show some love there. But they would continue this trend of having local feeders. I'm just trying to think if there's one. There is one more that they haven't done. Oh yeah. For UP out of Mojave, they could do one more, and that would be the Trona Railroad. If they were to do this, watch this. So we got this now, right? Cool. Mojave's much better. I'm gonna actually, it just adds another element to Mojave. Not a big element, but it's big enough because it's got some interesting operations, and you got some cement operations. But here's a beautiful opportunity to expand and sell it for $20 or whatever, 10. I don't know. 20's fine. I don't care. I think it's worth it. Then suddenly you got Trona, and you have that connection with Mojave. You can do everything else. That'd be great, I think. So yeah, West Riverside Main 1 is an eastbound spawn into Cajon. So that was always there before the LA expansion came out. Quantico, we already saw all of. So Alameda Corridor, all that other stuff. Streeter, we already dealt with that. Yuma, Highland, oh yeah, we were looking at Highland. Seiko Siding southbound, we've already got. Vincent Siding, I think what the hell's that one? Oh, Vincent's down there, yeah. Okay. Vincent, we've already dealt with. UP Yermo, South Taylor. West Bakersfield BNSF westbound Main 2. West Bakersfield BNSF westbound Main 2. Say what? What is that? I'm not exactly sure where that is exactly. I know it's in Bakersfield, west of Bakersfield, but what is that? Let me just take a look at that. So we'll test that one. And we'll just spawn it. Where's it? Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go, huh? So now you have you got a spawn point here. I think you got one to go. Is it Gomez going that way? I can't remember. Let me just put a Gomez in there for the hell of it too. Gomez, rah. I think that one was that already in? I don't know. Some of the naming conventions are a little hard too.
I thought Gomez was in there somewhere. Colton, Linwood, Beastby, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, it's right at the top. Here we go. Mixed freight. How come the spacebar wasn't working for those? I'm trying the spacebar on those and it's not working. Why keeps spawning tests at Bakersfield BNSF Gomez? Alright, whatever. Train going that way? So yeah, you can simulate a train that's working the yard if you want, or you can have it do that. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I think he's going the other way, isn't he? Oh no, he's coming. Well, that's some cool stuff. Let him race for a bit. Like I said, I like how the AI is able to do, you know, it's notching up and honking at crossings, and it does a good job with that. Now, of course, when if you're simulating the if you're running spawns and you're simulating trains coming off of the Bakersfield, and these are two westbound trains, you need to be able to find a spot to ditch an eastbound. In that case, I guess you could ditch it in the yard. Which is fine. Yeah, you could actually ditch the train in the yard, I think, going eastbound. If you want to spawn it as if it was coming from either track and make things interesting. The reason why I say you can ditch it in the yard is because I believe there is a track in here that will ditch itself. Yeah, well, it's up there, actually. That doesn't work. And what I mean by ditch is you bring a train down and you just throw it into something. There's a lot of places you can do it. Your best bet is to bring it through the yard, have this switch, and have it run down the siding here. So it's kind of weird. You're basically ditching it into a yard track. So what you would do is you would simulate up to here, and then play around with this switch here. You're not simulating BNSFs per se, but you're allowing to do that.
I don't know if that's necessary to put it there or not. I mean, you could put it at Lopez for all that matters. It doesn't really matter. I think that's all the spawn points, though. I don't think there's any more after that I can see. But it goes back to my the point that I was trying to make with. Let me see how this race is going. Just out of curiosity. It looks like the auto train's going to win. I'll give him a chance. Well, it's a manifest on the other line, but I'll keep him going. I think I see... oh, there he is. What's the HPT values here? 2-2. 2-1, yeah. Yeah, we did the right one. Nice little race. So yeah, you know, you can easily do something like that, and I mean, you're not going to get a race quite like that, because you're not going to have you know, you can have two trains spawn every 2 minutes or whatever, but it does a pretty good job. Okay, let me just check the comments a little bit more. No more comments, so that's fine. I think I had him higher up anyways, so that worked out pretty good, but so yeah, I think next time around, I mean, the weekend's coming up for me, so I'm not going to be doing anything. Sunday I'm with my son. I don't know, it depends on what I'm in the mood for Monday. I'm gonna see what Scott's up to, and see if what he is thinking, what ideas he has. Always nice to see what he's thinking. So yeah, that's a nice little overtake there. You know, I had a yellow signal that, you know, he basically overtook him. It's kind of nice. But yeah, just spawn points alone, that makes it feasible to run that route now. And like I said, RTS would work great if I was able to just have the damn things go AI when you spawn them. You know, the spawn menu, that'd be a neat little option. Just like, for example, let me show you what I mean, if I can. That's not what I want. What do I want here? That's not what I want. I don't remember all my damn keys. Okay, load save. So you got yourself a train, right? Watch this. I don't even know where this is going to run. I don't know where any of these trains are, to be quite honest. So you have a train like Q Kansas City RIC, okay? There he is. Let's say you're in control of another train, a switcher, and you go ahead and you spawn that train. First of all, it takes you to the train, which is great. But you're in control of a train and you want to spawn a train in that RTS generated. Well, guess what? You can't just start this. You have to go in and you have to AI recrew it. External dispatcher can do it, but I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've done that. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but I don't think external dispatcher would allow it to do it unless it was already active. If it does, well, golly, then that's good. So, I mean, giddy up. So, that is all I'm going to do with Run8 tonight. So it's 11 o'clock. So yeah, Friday. So I'm in a really good. I haven't been in this good of a mood for a while. It has nothing to do with Run8. It had a lot to do with my son getting home from hospital, and he was able to get through 1 week, although it was a bit of a hell. But you know, and my internet connection had held up, so that's pretty good. I have 4 concurrent viewers right now. Very nice. Okie dokie, guys. I like the likes. Thank you very much. Thank you for your comments. So yeah, I'll have the chat open. Keep this open in the background. Doesn't seem to affect anything. And I will check. Before you guys go anywhere, if you're not already familiar, we do still have a forum. It's not much. This is the Railroad Transportation Simulator Wiki. It is not updated very well, and for the most part, I mean, there has been some conversations recently with various people, and it's been quiet because I haven't been doing anything. And you guys can come on here anytime. This is the website, railroadtransportationsimulator.fandom.com. The old site used to be .wikia.com. I think it redirects. So if I go, see wikia.com. So if I go to wikia.com, because that was the old site, it will redirect to fandom.com because fandom took it over. But it'll still work. So you guys can come on here. You can post anonymously, like we have. There's Scott, fandom user, a fandom user. Just people that are coming in anonymously can post and do whatever. Don't worry about all this stuff here. Like when you go in, where is it? Does it allow me to go into the site, the homepage? Maybe not. It used to go into the homepage once I did that. I don't want to be in a wiki activity here. Oh, it must automatically log me in, so it always puts me to wiki activity. But there is a home site. I don't see it very often, so I don't know. But you can go on there and post any comments. I'm always reading these. I mean, I have had some questions recently about helping. Can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? I could, but honestly, I'm not into Run8 that off much at the moment. I'm still thinking about getting my feet wet. Obviously, I spent $20 US tonight because I'm gonna give it a shot. At the very least, see if it gets my curiosity, see if it gets Scott interested. If it doesn't get Scott interested, it doesn't matter. See, and this is the cool thing. What happened with Scott and I is Scott was losing interest just like I was. Him and I, we could never get our times together. So what that does for me is it allows me to not have to rely on Scott so much, but be able to do my own thing and then see what happens. Which is fine. So I can go ahead and do my own thing. He can go ahead and do his own thing. And if we just happen to connect, well, then that's great. But we can still do our own things. Heck, he can run. I would be very interested in seeing a lot of smaller communities, quite frankly, sprout up from this. Because with the spawn points, what that does is it allows small communities. You don't have to have every single mile of every territory. I was talking to, or I got into an email conversation with Michael Rice the other night, and he's very supportive of Run8. He loves everything they do, and that's great. It's good to be supportive of something that you believe in. But he was honest in saying that it is getting a lot tougher to run sessions, full sessions. He's had to cancel some because there's so much work to do. it's hard for the smaller groups to run so much. It's even harder for a single player who wants to run prototypically or a small group. What the spawn points do, at the very least, they make it possible. Whether or not that helps in the long run, because this is a game changer when it comes to running Mojave. I'd like to see more spawn points. Here's let me before I end things here, and I know I'm just blabbing on. Let me go over to Train Sim, and I will check out the forum here. If you haven't been on Train Sim, this is another place that I'm always here, so feel free to drop me a line here if you don't want to go on the Wikia. This is a lot more active too. So the as you can see, they're talking about the Run8 update and everything. I just wanted to see something here. I'm actually going to post to this later on. Scenarios. I call them save files. Oh, I didn't check the SJVR stuff. Okay, so good enough. I wanted to see because so yeah, this was. Well, sorry, I want to do. You guys are seeing me post here. Sorry about that. Figure why not? What the heck? Let me reply one more time. One other thing I'm going to mention here, I'm just the other
Yeah, Trona would be very interesting to me, I think. So the suggestion that I think I put here, I said, this is what I wanted to highlight, and then I'm going to end it for the night. So I said, John, if you're reading this, just a suggestion. I don't know if it's possible or not, since all of us would play things differently potentially or have their favorites. So what you're seeing is people want to play things different ways. They may not want to run it prototypically. They may not want to run what Scott and I were doing actually. We were running Trona Railroad on one of the other screens, and we started playing around with the different siding names, and I'm okay with it, except like I said, it became difficult for Scott and I to get together all the time. Is there a way of creating a spawn point a spawn point editor similar to what you have set up in Industries? If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you can go in and you can define any industry anywhere. So most of the industries are set up, but you can go in, you can not only define what cars come in and out, but you can define the location of the industry itself. What this does is it gives you very flexible power at creating interchange trains. There's, I mean, your imagination is the only limitation on that. You can put track anywhere. There's all kinds of things you can do with it. You can create. I'm just trying to think of some of the things I've done. Actually, one of the coolest things I've been able to do with the industry creator is create virtual switch lists of the bowls. So you can actually create every track in the bowl and have it as an industry, so that you can visually see what is in the bowl by looking at Control L and taking a look at the switch list editor. You just name it Barstow. You name I think you name the industry name Barstow or something. I forget how to do it. I'll show you guys how to do it sometime, maybe. Something I'll set up. There's a lot of potential now, and it's really great. I mean, they don't have to do this. This is just a suggestion. So I'm totally cool with no world editor. I know that a lot of people were hoping for the world editor. John's totally against it, and I respect Run8 for that. They wanna keep things under their control. They want to honestly keep their own cash source. It's not about Run8. It's never been about having creativity. It's been about operations and multiplayer for the most part. It is still, and I've never said it wasn't, it has always been in my mind for the past several years the best train simulator on the planet. And I won't put it, I still don't think it's the best railroad simulator out there. I still say that goes to Train Sim, not Train Sim World. What the hell am I talking about? Yard Duty or Freight Yard Manager is probably the best railroad simulator. If you haven't been into it, that's great. I'm not into that much. It does a good job. RTS, I always wanted to kind of do something like that, but I just haven't been motivated to do those things right now. I just want to have fun for the most part. It's been a rough 2019 for me so far. So, with that said, I would say smaller territories come online in the near future. We'll hope to see more of these smaller territories. I'd like to see some smaller territories outside of the whole realm of California, quite frankly. But it doesn't have to be. Just smaller. It doesn't even have to be a Class 1. It could be Class 2 railroad or something. I don't know. Or a smaller Class 1 somewhere else. I haven't had a chance to play or purchase the new add-on or territory. I have now. I do look forward to giving it a spin when my life stops spinning out of control. Well, it kind of stopped today, at least a little bit, so that's why I'm in it. So yeah, so it says I did the purchase, blah blah blah. It's there. Okay, guys, that's it. Wow, it's 20 after 11. And yeah, you can say I'm going to give Run8 a chance, and we'll see what happens, guys. So, not going to be as crazy as it used to be, but I will post more videos and see how things are going. We'll see how things are going, and if I like it, great. If I don't, well, you know, I give it a shot. But for now, you know, and by the way, I still like Stormworks too. I still want to do things in Stormworks. I think it has potential. But we'll see what happens. And I wouldn't mind doing my own projects. So thanks for the views. Thanks for, you guys can contact me in any of those ways. Self-help, I can try to offer you some suggestions, but other than that, you know, there's really not much else I can do for that. So I'm going to end it now, guys. So thanks for watching. I appreciate your support, and especially long-time members who have me on their list and subscribed. And if you want to see something, if you're looking for something in particular for me to cover, do offer suggestions, and I'll see what I can do. Basically, I want to do something that I enjoy doing, not just to do a tutorial or anything like that. I may, but I really don't have time to go into extensive tutorials. This should give you guys a pretty good idea of what you can do in single player, and I will probably start the next Run8 video is either going to be myself and possibly Scott or somebody else if I can get my multiplayer server setup running. I don't even know if I'm even set up to run a server right now in my new place, so but we'll see. And but until then, I'll probably just do single player, because I think I don't know if Scott's interested anymore, to be honest. I don't blame him. So I'm just going to keep, you know, try to do some things for myself, see if I like it, and go the single player route for a little while and see how I like it. And you know, I'll show you what I do. Might catch on, might inspire other people, might be interesting. We'll see. Anyways, guys, have a good one. It's good to be back in Run8 for now. This update was enough to get me back into it. Just a little update. Even the add-on didn't need it. They didn't have to do the add-on, but I'm glad to show my support. And who knows, maybe I will get Bakersfield sub. I hear it's a pretty good route. It seems interesting. And I don't know if they've done the same with Seligman. I didn't see any spot. Oh, no, that's because I don't own Seligman. So if I own Seligman, there could be other spawn points. I'm curious about the other ones. I'll have to mention that, because if there is something for Seligman, I might be curious, because it looks like a kind of a cool route too. So you got Seligman. We definitely know Bakersfield is there because the spawn points are just outside of Bakersfield. So both of them. All of a sudden now you can have single player runs in either one of those routes, and just because you're connected to something that is default doesn't mean you need to run it. So, and Cajon sub, beautiful route. There's now possibilities there as well. So that's great. I don't remember seeing a spawn point on the BNSF side. Well, you can run out, like I said, you can run that out of Barstow. It don't matter. But the fact that they have Highland in there, that helps bring the UP side going the other way. Before it used to be Highland going one way. Now you got Highland going both ways. So because you have Highland coming the other way, you can now run Cajon totally. Because you got Barstow, you got everything. You don't have to worry about routing crap through Barstow. You just set it up one way, exit goes the other way, boom, you're set. And I'll demonstrate some ideas, but I'm going to work with Mojave first. I'm going to start there. It's got the most prototypical information that there is. If you guys haven't seen it, I know I'm still blabbing on here. Let me just show you. Just in case you guys haven't seen it. I know I was going to end the stream. I can't stop. Got the fever again. I still say I didn't give in, but
they'll say otherwise. Oh yeah, I knew you'd get back. Sure. No, I only got back because there's a renewed interest based on some of these add-ons, and particularly this. That is a very small change, but it's probably one of the better updates I've seen for a while. There's been a lot of good updates over the course of the couple years. Version 3 would be nice, but I think they're having problems getting it out. I think they're running into a wall, which is fine. Just hope other features come in, maybe not version 3, but just keep on doing the updates, guys. Keep on adding more content, and you might be able to make some money that way if version 3 can't work for you. And hopefully version 3 does. I really wish these guys the best. I really do. I know I'm critical of them a lot of times, but I really wish them the best. Oh, let me show you what I was talking about. So when you go in, if you don't want to purchase it and you want to find out more about it, go into here where you say Learn More. When you click on Learn More, this is going to tell you what these branches... First of all, over in the Arvin branch, first of all, you get the SJVR locomotives. I don't know if they come with the Run8 update or if they come with the... It doesn't matter. I mean, I got them anyways because I bought this. But it tells you a lot about the speed limits and the operations. It's a pretty good history. It doesn't tell you what every industry is, which is fine. Now, for myself, I am going to be running Oak Creek. And this is telling UPLOP51 job pulling cement loads out of the plant on the Oak Creek branch. It tells you a lot about this plant. It tells you what tracks, what type of cars, gypsum. Is gypsum a new type of car? Do I have to get those? Loaded gypsum car. I don't even know what the hell. I think they're just regular. I know they're cement hoppers, but I don't know what the hell they are, the gypsum cars, to be quite honest. Loaded gypsum hopper. The gypsum being part of the cement production process. Okay. Well, that's cool. See, I didn't know that. Ships loaded cement cars, returns empty coal cars, and empty gypsum hoppers, also receives occasional empty tank cars. The plant is typically serviced by UPLOP51, the local train, although this may have varied over the years. Well, yeah, that's fine. Maximum speed is 20 miles an hour. Maximum speed on California Portland is 10 miles an hour. Maximum gross tonnage, 134 tons per car. You can check those tonnage. All moves will be conducted under GCR Rule 6.27, which just means, I think that basically is like a rule 569. I can't remember the Canadian one. Anyways, it's dark territory, that's what it means. Trains on descending grade must not exceed 150 tons per operated brake. Trains on descending grade must not exceed 550 tons per dynamic brake axle. Trains leaving California Portland with DPU must not exceed 3,000 feet, blah, 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 blah. And, yeah. So there's only one industry, it's California for that. I am actually bought this to basically add one industry, but it's a very important industry. So what I used to have, and it wasn't a spawn point, was I had to basically, remember I was saying about creating industries. What I did was I created an industry on that Y. Now I can eliminate it. I don't have to, and this is where you could, this is back in the old days of RTS as well. What I would do is I would create spawn points in RTS out of some of the ends of Ys and various sidings or whatever to simulate what they called I called interchange traffic. And Oak Creek was one of them. So was Trona. Trona's another one that I have. I actually have industries at the end of the track. I think they're in there now anyways, but I would spawn trains coming to and from Trona. Trona's spawn point would be interesting, but it's only for one train, so really the only thing you would have to do there is probably spawn the Trona trains. It's not a big deal. You can locally spawn them. because you wouldn't have that much traffic going in and out. You wouldn't want to. You don't need an AI thing. So, Southern California local freight trains. I believe Ski's got this book. Others have it as well. So, yeah, that's it for tonight, guys. I am way past my bedtime, even though it's going to be a Friday, so I really don't give a rat's ass. But that's it. Wow, 6 viewers. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. So have a good night, and like I said, we'll see you maybe as early as Monday. I don't know. But do give me the positive feedback. Give me the likes. Let other people know. I appreciate the support. And the more I get it, the more I'll do more. And, I'll just keep on trying to grow the channel a little bit at a time and try to have a little bit of fun along the way. So hopefully I can stay interested and stay motivated. And hopefully Run8 keeps on putting out some quality stuff, because I think this is, quality over quantity is sometimes good. And I think they did a good job here. I really do. I haven't seen much. I haven't run it. I haven't actually run the rail driver yet, but hopefully by Monday I can start setting up a system, and then we'll take it from there again. So anyways, guys, have a good one. We'll talk to you later.